What's going on, guys? Matt Gilbert here. Instead of taking you through a workout today, I thought that we would talk a little bit about something that I find interesting, a topic that is sort of passed around the bodybuilding world, the fitness world, and I think it's an important topic because not only does it affect you, it affects your fitness lifestyle, and it also affects your social lifestyle too. Okay, so what am I talking about here? Alcohol, of course, right? Everybody's favorite topic. I would say that in the bodybuilding community, you sort of have people that advocate against it and are, just extremely adamant about cutting alcohol out completely, that it's the devil, all this and all that. And then you kind of have the other extreme of people that say, like, you only live once, just like drink and have a good time and live your life. So my hope for this discussion here is that I can sort of show you both sides. And, of course this topic has been passed around a lot, but I'd like to just share my personal experience on it and my own opinion, and I think this may kind of help you in terms of how to use alcohol, right? So I don't want to get into scientific terms because number one, I'm not a scientist, and number two, I don't want to say anything that I don't know completely. What I do know is that really our bodies are technically not made for consuming alcohol. I say that in the lightest way possible because what happens is that when you drink alcohol, whenever you've felt buzzed, whenever you have felt drunk, this is really your body kind of recognizing, alcohol is for lack of better terms, is technically a poison in your body. So when you put that in there, your body immediately starts to do everything in its power to get rid of that, right? To get that alcohol out of your system. That's why, when you drink too much, you get sick, you throw up. That's your body reacting to, that you put in way too much and you're trying to get rid of it. Now in the beginning, back to what I was saying, when you get buzzed, when you get drunk, that is pretty much your body sort of saying, okay, you put this liquid, this poison, whatever, into me, and that's your body reacting to it. So that buzz, that drunk feeling, it's almost similar to like an allergic reaction you would get with a food or something else related. The only difference is that this reaction is oftentimes a good feeling, isn't it? You kind of loosen up, you sort of stop caring about things that you otherwise would have cared more about when you were sober and things of that nature. And it's popular. I mean, so many people drink, and there are obviously varying degrees to which people drink. Some people like the taste of it. Some people like beer. Some people like wine. Some people drink just to get drunk. There's so many reasons, I think, why people drink. And then it goes into the social aspect as well, which I want to get into in the latter half of the video here. Okay, so first I want to discuss alcohol and fitness, right? Because again, there's a lot of people on YouTube, there's a lot of fitness people out there that advise you to stay away from it. This is where the whole term, everything in moderation, comes into play. And I'll tell you why. If you are dedicated and you are 100% focused on attaining whatever goal it is, especially fitness related, say you want to, maybe you're into powerlifting and you're trying to, max out on your deadlift or your bench press or whatever it is. maybe you're dieting down for the summer, you're trying to get like just a ripped physique, abs popping out, or maybe you've got a bodybuilding competition and you have to get down to really low levels of body fat and you want to win this competition. The problem is that alcohol will, slow down your process here, okay? And to be more specific, high amounts of alcohol can slow down the process. When people often ask, can I include alcohol in my diet? I'm not saying that this is the case all the time, but most of the time, those are the type of people that drink a lot, that they drink to get drunk. So basically what they're saying is, can I get really fucked up and still achieve my goals? The answer really is probably not. Maybe for the genetically gifted, maybe if you have if you have been bodybuilding and you've been into fitness for years and years and you kind of know how to do it. But again, usually these are people that do this every weekend. Friday, Saturday night, they just get absolutely hammered, and then they're kind of wondering why they're not getting lean or they're not getting stronger. Well, number one, we have to also go into what it does to your brain, right? Because when you drink high amounts of alcohol, you don't really give a shit about eating healthy. I mean, come on. Even me, I remember, times where I would be drunk in college and, sometimes I would even be that guy that would come back and make egg white omelets even after being drunk. But the next day you feel like absolute shit. The only thing you want to go do is fill up on meals that have very high fat and very high carbs, just so you can like feel good again. And you'll do anything not to feel like crap the next day. At least that's my experience, and everybody I've talked to kind of has the same issue. So whether it's that night or the next day, you're kind of bound to fuck up on your diet, right? So that alone, as you know, your diet is so important to making progress in the gym that, look, again, the more you do that, the more you mess up on your diet, that's going to hinder your process. That's going to hinder your progress and your process. So definitely keep that in mind. I look back into when I was in college, and, I was going to the gym, but I thought I had it figured out. I thought I knew what I was doing, but, I was in a fraternity, and we were going out 3-4 nights a week, and we were going hard, drinking, getting drunk, and it just wreaked havoc on my body too. With my genetics, I gain weight very, very easily, so I always have to kind of, keep an eye on my body. And it just absolutely wrecked me, right? I felt like crap. I wasn't getting enough sleep. My body was just not great. I had the dad bod going on. If you watch my body transformation story. So that kind of goes to show you that alcohol is not good for long-term goals. Now, I've gotten to a point in my fitness endeavors, right? I guess you could say that, where I can fit alcohol into my life without it ruining my physique, okay? The way I do that is I will drink liquor with a diet soda, or, one of my favorite things to drink now is gin and sparkling water, or soda water. Gin is kind of my spirit of choice, and so I'll have that. And even when I do drink, I limit myself, because number one, I don't feel good when I get drunk anymore. I don't feel good that night. I don't feel good the next day. And I prefer having maybe like 1 or 2 drinks. And even when I say that, I probably only drink maybe 3 or 4 times a month. It's not that much. Again, when I go on trips, when I go on vacations, I tend to drink a little bit more. But even then, I sort of monitor how much I take in, because to me, I've just realized that it's not worth it just to get that drunk. The only exceptions that I will say, I'll go visit friends who don't live here, because most of my friends live in Washington, D.C. or in other cities. When I go there, they usually like to have a good time, and I'll plan for that. That's another thing. Another big thing is planning it out, right? So if you're 100% on top of your diet and you're just really grinding, you're working hard, you're making good progress, and you just say, hey, one weekend I'm just going to go with friends and have a good time and not really worry about diet and drink and just have a crazy time, I say go for it. Life is way too damn short to be worrying about that shit. Now, if you do have a competition coming up, then you kind of have to figure out your priorities, don't you? Because you don't want to have a bodybuilding show in 2 weeks and go out with your friends in Los Angeles and have like an all-night binger, right? Because that's going to fuck you up, most likely. And yes, it's going to hinder progress if you have like a crazy weekend, but it'll only set you back maybe 4 or 5 days, and then you can just kind of get right back in the swing of things. But my whole idea on alcohol in terms of just being in general and how it relates to fitness is, yeah, you can enjoy it in moderation. I would even go as far to say that if you can control yourself, you could even have one light beer a night or a glass of wine every single night, and it wouldn't affect your goals at all, really. You could probably still accomplish what you want to accomplish. And even on the weekend, if you wanted to maybe have 2 drinks, right? 2 liquor drinks, and maybe like a beer or something, I think you could easily do that, and you could wake up the next day, you don't feel like shit. You have enough energy to be active, go do some cardio, go hit a workout, depending on, what your schedule is. So that is how I feel about alcohol when it relates to fitness. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how drinking sort of ties into social events. If you watch my story, I used to be really, really shy. I used to be a really shy kid. And even now, even after I've been exposed to social situations and I pushed myself more into situations where I was not in my comfort zone, I still get those feelings of being shy. And in order to combat that in college and at the end of high school, I thought drinking a lot of alcohol was the answer. And the funny thing is that I don't know if any of you guys have ever experienced this before, but I actually felt like I was more paranoid when I drank a lot of alcohol. I've always been the type of person that was very in tune to myself, to my body. And I almost felt myself becoming more idiotic by the second. I just felt like I was becoming a dumbass. You kind of have like more of a chance to say the wrong thing. You say dumb shit, you do stupid shit, you could get arrested. If you're a guy and you kind of go out and you want to talk to girls and things like that, like you're gonna have a much better chance if you're coherent and you can have good conversations than you are the guy who's just like falling down and sloppy and like, you think girls are attracted to that shit? Nah, dude. So, in terms of how alcohol relates to you in a social way, that is probably almost harder than the fitness portion. Because I think a lot of people, when they go out, they feel the need to drink alcohol. It's just kind of a societal norm, right? To drink, to go out, have a good time. What is the first thing you do when you walk into a bar? Go grab a drink. It's just kind of habit almost. And you're never going to learn how to excel socially if you're getting drunk every time you go out. So I know this is gonna be actually a lot tougher for you guys to do this than, to have one drink and limit it for your fitness goals. But for your social goals, I would say you got to go out and you got to practice talking to people, talking to girls. If you're a girl, talking to guys, whatever it is, right? You've got to practice doing this without being drunk. You've got to learn how to excel in social situations, because that is the core of human behavior. That's how you're going to excel. That's how you're going to be at the top. Some people have that naturally. Some people don't. I don't have that naturally. And so I kind of had to learn how to put myself in these difficult situations without drinking, to become better, to handle myself better in those situations. And again, now to tie both the social portion and the fitness portion into one another, I've gotten to the point, and I said this, 5 minutes ago, but I've gotten to the point where now I can have a drink when I want, go out, still have fun, and I can be able to, number one, be more social and present myself in a more authentic way without getting drunk, and I'm not hindering myself in a physical way. I can wake up the next day, I feel refreshed, and I've been able to conduct myself in a positive manner in a social setting, right? So anyways, to wrap this up, to give you kind of a summary of what I just said, I am by no means saying alcohol is the devil. I'm not telling you to cut it out completely. And I'm not even telling you guys that you can't enjoy a little binger every now and then, of course, but be careful. But what I am saying is to just try to limit how much you drink. If you want to really buckle down and get rock hard abs, or you want to gain muscle mass, you can't be going out and getting drunk 3-4 nights a week. It's just not going to happen unless you're in the top 0.001% of genetics. It's just not going to happen. You might gain muscle, you might lose fat, you might see a little bit of your abs, but you're not going to get to where you really want to be if you're getting absolutely blasted drunk 3-4 nights a week. It's not going to happen. But again, on the contrary, you don't have to cut it out completely unless you just don't like drinking, or you're a serious person who doesn't like to have any fun. Anyways, again, I have learned to have fun without drinking, and drinking now to me is like no big deal. And I think once you start viewing it as like, this is nothing, this is not a big deal, okay, I'll have one drink and just chill for the whole night. I think once you start believing that, you're going to be able to live a much, much better life. And you're going to be able to not only accomplish your goals, but you're just going to be happy. You're going to be able to talk to people, have good conversations, and just excel. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up, but I hope you guys enjoy that talk. And if you did, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.